Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the golden age of the symphony, part 2, 1910 to 1919. Oh, interesting things are starting to happen, that's for sure. So let's see who's on our list and what we can conclude from it. I mean, of course, I arranged the list, but generally speaking, I think there's some rather nifty observations we can make. First, two French guys, Alberic Magnard, Symphony No. 4 from 1913, one of the great masterpieces in the Frankian style with cyclical forms and recurring themes and passion galore and an absolutely transcendental conclusion. It's a magnificent work. Absolutely magnificent work, which, we've talked about before. So most of you by now, or a lot of you, I'm sure, have heard it. And if you haven't, give it a listen. You're in for a treat. Then Tournemire. I love Tournemire. Tournemire was so interesting. He really was. He was this crazy, mystical, messianic organist type guy who wrote really crazy orchestral works, and big ones and yummy ones. And his third symphony, which is subtitled Moscow, has, that Russian Easter sort of stuff in it. Da 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 ba da 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 da, like the Rachmaninoff suite that we talked about recently, the finale of his first suite for two pianos, or the Rimsky-Korsakov Russian Easter Overture. It's got bells and glockenspiels and things going in it, and it's based on like the same couple of tunes that get repeated 30 trillion times, and it's just beautiful. There's a coolness about this symphony that's just marvelous. I don't mean coolness in terms of like low emotional temperature. I mean there's just a cool beauty to it. It exists in its own realm. It's just something very special about it that's just marvelous. Then we have Enescu, Symphony No. 2 from 1914. Enescu actually was completely dissatisfied with this symphony. He kept wanting to revise it. But what's come down to us is an absolute phantasmagoria of orchestral extravagance. It's got more notes per minute than just about anything else in the universe. Really fun to listen to. It's a little bit difficult, perhaps, to wrap your brains around thematically the first 50 or 60 times you hear it. But after that, it's really marvelous. I love the work. I really do. Then we've got, a popular favorite, Vaughan Williams, a London symphony, originally written and performed around 1914. Now, Vaughan Williams was dissatisfied. He revised it multiple times. It didn't reach its final form until like the 40s or something, or I don't know what. But 1914 was the date. And it's so gorgeous. It's a big, luscious verismo hunk of orchestral mayhem. It's just wonderful to listen to. And it ends quietly. The kiss of death. But still, it's just so beautiful. Then Stenhammar. The Scandinavians are making a push. Here they come. They're charging up the hill. Stenhammar, Symphony No. 2 from 1915. A neoclassical gem. This was written in the wake of Stenhammar's sort of observation of what Sibelius was doing, and possibly Nielsen as well, writing sort of post-Brahmsian, classically shaped works. And this is definitely that, with a touch of folk-like modal elements and a big contrapuntal triple fugue type finale. It's another absolutely splendid piece of music, a beautiful piece of writing that deserves far more attention than it gets, although happily it's been recorded a lot. Thank goodness. And Carl Nielsen, well, this is the period, 1916, the middle of First World War and all that stuff's going on, and he wrote the Inextinguishable with two sets of timpani battling it out in the finale. God, what a thrilling piece of writing this thing is. I remember taking a friend of mine to see it live at Carnegie Hall. I forget who was doing it, but it's about 35 minutes long or so. It goes so quickly. I don't think there's another piece of music that moves so fast. Because all the movements are connected. So, it just goes off like a rocket. And by the time it was over, he just turned to me and said, "Isn't there more?" I mean, that was it. It was so powerful, but at the same time, just so unified. Oh, it's a tremendous piece of music. It deserves to be played every 15 minutes, without a doubt. Villa-Lobos, Symphony No. 2, Ascension, from 1917. Well, nobody talks about the Villa-Lobos symphonies, but some of them are absolutely extraordinary. And his early ones, which he wrote when he was in Paris, are, these big, juicy, romantic, they're kind of like Enescu's. They really are. They're in the same school. Lots and lots of notes, a vaguely, sometimes folk-like influence of something, and exotic, lush textures, piling up the climaxes and the romantic decadence. And oh my gosh, if you like that kind of music, you're going to love Symphony No. 2. Here's another work that he wrote it in 1914, apparently, but didn't finish it or polish it off or revise it until like the 1940s. But 1914 was the date. And he was such an extraordinary character, and he always gets left off of lists because he's so not like anybody else. He's hard to pigeonhole. So I think it's really important to have him in this list of composers, also because, as you may notice, see, here's one of the things that's happening here. We've got Scandinavia, we've got France, we've got England, now we have Brazil. We don't have Germany. We don't have the country where the symphony supposedly found its first home, because by this time, German music was going in an entirely different direction, and the weight of that German symphonic tradition, the Beethoven, Brahms stuff, was such that most composers simply avoided symphonies completely. But while the Germans were avoiding it, everybody else was getting in the game, especially all the countries that had a sort of late romantic nationalist awakening. And that's why our music history is so wrong and awful, because it's German music history, what we call modern music history. It's, the first Viennese school, and then the Romantics, German Romantics, and Wagner was chromatic, so everybody got chromatic, and then we had the second Viennese school, and that's Western music. Well, that is so not the reality, and this list shows you what the reality really was. It was all kinds of different things happening in different rates at different countries and different styles, and marvelously, and most importantly, the golden age of the symphony, because it was the golden age of the orchestra. All these fabulous orchestras with people having the ability to write for them. And so they did, and they did it in whatever style they wanted. They didn't give a damn about, post-Wagnerian chromaticism and 12-note stuff. And it's such an artificial and methodologically inept bit of winner's history. That's what our music history is. It's terrible. But here is the truth. I guarantee it. So Villa-Lobos makes the list. Prokofiev's Classical Symphony. Yeah, 1917. The arrival of a wonderful new talent and sort of the big second wave, the 20th century wave of Russian composers. What could be better than Prokofiev's Classical Symphony? And then back in Finland and Scandinavia, where we were briefly with Carl Nielsen, Madetoja, Symphony No. 2. He only wrote 3 symphonies, and 2 and 3 are masterpieces. They're wonderful, wonderful works. The second is also a wartime symphony, and wait till you hear it. It's so beautiful, and again, it's perfectly put together and wonderfully proportioned and fascinating to listen to. And it doesn't really sound like Sibelius. So there you go. Speaking of which, his Symphony No. 5 hit the skids when it came out in 1914-15, originally. But finally, by 1919, he'd gotten his brain around where the music wanted to go, which was really an extraordinary thing because it wasn't at all obvious. He jammed together the first 2 movements and rescored the whole thing, and voila! A heroic masterpiece of Finnish symphonic stuff. Absolutely glorious. Symphony No. 5 from 1919. So there you have it, my friends. 10, I always limit myself to 10, works from the 1910s to 1919s, which represent the golden age of the symphony. And more than welcome. You are more than welcome, that is, to participate and give me your own selections to add to this really marvelous list of works. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.